you all for attendance. We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. If everybody would still stand for the invocation led by Councilman Oliver, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pray with me, please. Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you blessed us with today, and we thank you for the citizens of our great city, Florence, showing up here tonight for our council meeting. We pray for kind words tonight. We pray that you guide us in our thoughts and decisions we make tonight on behalf of our city. In your name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Light, if you'll call the roll, please.
Be happy to. Councilmember Hendricks. Here. Councilmember Griffin.
Here.
Councilmember Eubanks.
Present.
Councilmember Edwards. Here. Councilmember Oliver.
Here.
Council President Simmons.
Here.
Madam President, all 6 council members are in attendance and therefore a quorum is present.
Thank you very much. For the approval of the agenda, we do remove items on the consent P and Q at the request of the sponsor. He's out of town. And then we did add to the regular agenda item 12C. It's a raised resolution, raised grant resolution to apply for the grant, CAP grant. So we can get some approval.
Vote. Second.
Motion by Mr. Edwards, second by Mr. Oliver. All in favor of the motion?
6-0, motion carries.
Thank you very much. At this time, we'll have a message from the mayor.
I'd like to start this evening and ask Chief Mike Holt to come forward. He has some promotions in the police department he would like to announce.
Thank you, Mayor. So I have 2 promotions, if you guys wouldn't mind standing up. Who we have here before you is kind of newly Sergeant Sam Garrison and new Lieutenant Josh Hine. You may recognize Josh Hine. He used to be the guy at the back that kept us all safe. But he is now Lieutenant. Sam is going to be a night shift sergeant, and if you're not familiar, the sergeants, they're the first line supervisors. They're the ones making sure things are done right. The lieutenant, the position that Josh is going to be taking on and already has is our focus on recruiting, and that's just one piece of what he's doing, but he is heading up our recruiting and onboarding to try to get quality folks, like I talk about all the time. He's doing a great job. Both of them are doing an excellent job so far. If you think about the future of our department, you're looking at part of it standing right there. I have full confidence in both of these men. They're going to do a great job. So, hey, can we give them a round of applause?
All right, I have a couple other things this evening. First thing I'd like to do is I made several appointments that the mayor makes. I am reappointing Jeffrey Jones to the Housing Authority, and all these Mr. Lighty already has. And to the Planning Commission, I'm reappointing Jim Stanfield, who currently is the chair. And did Kelly Alvarez come tonight? Kelly Alvarez is an attorney here in town, and I'm making her, I'm going to appoint her to the Planning Commission as well. And my administrative appointment for somebody who works for the city is Ethan Burbank, who's a GIS employee for the electricity department. Okay. Next, I couldn't be, well, in a way I'm pleased, in a way I'm not so pleased, but I'd like to ask William Townsend to step up here. I'm pleased because he's such a wonderful guy. I'm not pleased that he's retiring, but I understand he's going to continue in a contractual.
Yes, sir, but part-time.
I can't begin to tell you over the years, and he's been around for 31 years, how many students have come to council meetings and look very studious, and they usually wait till the last minute, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Very last minute to get their points in for his class. I guarantee you the students love him and have got great memories, and I remember growing up how important that was. The guy was tough for me, but it was somebody I'll never remember. So I'd like to read this commendation. City of Florence takes great pride in commending Mr. William Townsend. As a teacher for 31 years in the Florence City school system, Mr. William Townsend has made a lasting impact on both students and faculty. His years of experience as an economics and U.S. government teacher and his encouragement and involvement in the City of Florence Youth and Government Day have aided his students in both awareness and knowledge of municipal engagement. I'm proud to recognize Mr. William Townsend for his lasting influence and years spent in the Florence City schools. So I present him with this certificate, but also I'm giving him a key to the city. So that means you're gonna have to keep coming back.
Yes, sir.
So you can't fully retire and you get two to replace you. So be looking. Now, I would like to call Mark Pitts to come forward. Mark is with the Lauderdale County DHR, and this is a proclamation about Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Proclamation. Whereas Alabama seniors are valued members of society, it is our collective responsibility to ensure they live safely and with dignity. And whereas older adults and Alabamians with disabilities are often targets for abuse, neglect, and exploitation. And such maltreatment is an ever-increasing problem in today's society. And whereas the Alabama Department of Human Resources received 12,458 abuse, neglect, and exploitation reports statewide in FY 2024. And whereas Adult Protective Services Division of the Alabama Department of Human Resources is committed to the protection of elder citizens through prevention, assessments, investigations of abuse, neglect, exploitation reports, and a coordination of services. And whereas World Elder Abuse Awareness Day offers all Alabamians the opportunity to promote the programs and organizations that serve elders and their families, and to participate in community efforts to improve the safety and well-being of all people throughout the state. Now therefore, I, Andrew Betterton, Mayor of the City of Florence, Alabama, do hereby join the Lauderdale County Department of Human Resources and proclaim June the 15th, 2025 as Elder Abuse Awareness Day in the city. I encourage all citizens to recognize and celebrate the value of our seniors and disabled adults and their right to live safely in this community.
Thank you. On behalf of the Department of Human Resources, I'd like to thank Mayor Betterton as well as the entire City Council of Florence for this proclamation. Elder abuse is a growing issue and concern, not just here locally in our community, but across the state and our nation as well. We do want to encourage everyone, if you suspect anyone to be a victim of abuse, neglect, or exploitation, please report it to either the Department of Human Resources or One Place of the Shoals. That way it can be investigated thoroughly. Again, we would just like to say thank you for bringing attention to this rising issue. Thank you.
Okay, I have several announcements. Tomorrow is an exciting day, May the 23rd. We'll have a ribbon cutting at 10 o'clock and a facility tour available for the new Handy Recreation Center reopening. What a wonderful space. I hope you come. I hope you enjoy yourself, and I'm very pleased with that event. Also, remind you, Memorial Day ceremony. This is an annual event, May the 26th on Monday. And I'd like for you to join us at 11 o'clock at Veterans Park. And the rain location is the Coliseum. And my last note is the State of the City is coming June the 12th. The community is invited to the 2025 State of the City program on Thursday, June the 12th at the Florence Lauderdale Coliseum. This year's theme, Celebrate Florence, Catch the Spirit, celebrates the momentum, spirit, and shared success of the city of Florence. The doors will open at 5 p.m. for the public with food trucks including Spark Sweet Smokes Barbecue, Donut Envy, Nashville Hot, and Oliver Creamery, as well as cornhole and outdoor games. Inside the Coliseum, there will be interactive displays hosted by the city departments and local nonprofit organizations, featuring a creative, educational, and party-style atmosphere. The official program will begin at 6 p.m. Attendees will have a chance to win a Renaissance Shows giveaway, including a one-night stay at the hotel, a $200 spa voucher, and a $150 voucher for dinner at the 360 Grill. I hope you'll stop by the mayor's table during the event to register. The winner will be announced at the end of the evening. Come early, connect with the city, and catch the spirit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Betterton. At this time, do we have any reports from any of our department heads? Any standing committee reports?
Yes, Madam President, Public Works met on Friday, May the 9th. In attendance were Gary Williamson, David Koontz, Craig Thompson, Todd Sullivan, Andy Jones, Chase McCroskey, Alan Cadell, Dustin Mason, myself, Jimmy Oliver, Andy Betterton, Billy Musgrove, Diane Cloudis, and Evan Wisdom. We opened the meeting as a reminder to everybody while we were there, which was to discuss the ongoing question we have among residents about how we pick up limbs and whose responsibility is it, especially in times that we've had this spring where it's been a lot of storms and a lot of limbs and trees down. So it was an opportunity for our street department, our risk manager, our city arborist, and our utility department to get together to consider how we're doing this and how we're communicating this to residents. David Koontz did provide us with a proposed plan that he would like to take a little bit more time to ensure is right. He will be sending it to the full council so that we will all know what it is. But we left with 3 action items, which include communication in the form of updates regarding this policy and utility bills, as well as social media campaigns. Complaints as they come in will be directed to our city arborist, who is Craig Thompson, and education through updated policies regarding this process that will be shared among the departments so that everybody is aware of it, and we as a council will also know how to direct individuals as they come to us with complaints after issues, especially like the one we had this past Tuesday. We adjourned at 1:03 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Eubanks. Any other standing committees?
Mr. President, we had a meeting today. I haven't had a chance to look at the minutes. Utility committee met, electricity department, and gas, water, go over their budgets that will be presented either at the next council meeting or the one after that. I'm not sure. But anyway, but it was a good budget, and we voted to approve it and to pass it on to full council.
Thank you very much. Any more? Any other questions? No, we do not have any public hearings tonight. And at this time, we will have business from the floor pertaining to the consent and the regular agenda only with a 5-minute time limit. Anybody to my left would like to speak on the consent? You may come. You can speak on anything on the consent or the regular agenda.
I'm not sure what that means. I'm just here to speak on things of the city that's troubling me.
Okay, at this time, you can only speak on what's on the consent of the regular
Yeah,
agenda,
thank you.
and then you'll have a
Thank
place
you,
at the
yes.
end to speak on something else.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else to my left? In the middle. River?
You have to raise the mic. That is better, and I'm gonna start a timer, and I will, you know what, I'm gonna take it down a little bit. I'm taking up like 15 seconds here to do this. I'll take it down a little bit. There we go. So, hello members of the Florence City Council. My name is Rivers Arinsky, and I am here tonight to speak regarding item 12B on the regular agenda. Following the last council meeting, Councilman Jackie Hendricks and Jimmy Oliver made comments suggesting an inspector had at the minimum walked through the current city hall. If our existing city hall was inspected, would the members of the Florence City Council be willing to release a letter from the firm that performed the inspection showing what date it was done on and a detailed report of the issues that were found? I remember back in December of 2024, that when we were discussing the fate of the parking debt, that there was a letter that was given to Mayor Andy Betterton, and I'd like to know if that was the same in the case of City Hall. Would the members of the Florence City Council then be willing to obtain an estimate for what it would cost to renovate the existing City Hall to be able to accurately compare the cost of a renovation against building new? I understand today's vote is regarding whether or not to obtain a blueprint and renderings for a new City Hall, but why not acquire bids for the cost of a renovation before paying a design firm for a blueprint and renderings? I would also like to ask why the contract in front of the council tonight calls for 8 employees to produce the blueprint and renderings. 2 of the job descriptions in the contract are listed as technical level 1 and technical level 2. If the contract is calling for 2 technicians, why are technicians needed for a contract that is solely for a blueprint and renderings? Moreover, I'm curious as to why the contract includes insurance, as designing a blueprint and rendering shouldn't require the employees to be on an active construction site, especially considering the fact that the surveying was not included in the fees. The contract that is in front of the council tonight lists the surveying responsibility is with the city. And so again, I would like to know if all or any of the 8 employees are going to be at the construction site, what their responsibility will be as to why they will need insurance. And with that, I yield my time. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle?
Good afternoon. First, I wish I could say I could talk as well as River does, but my name's Eric Foster, 2708 Morgan Street. During the work session, I changed my mind about 3 times what I was going to speak on. And then when Mr. Griffin asked about how much we'd be paying the architects, that kind of shocked me that you guys don't know. I mean, is that in the contract? And if it is in the contract, that tells me that there's people in here that did not read the contract that's fixing to vote on it. The city attorney didn't know the amount, and the architect didn't know the amount. So I just want to say this, I'm not for or against a new city hall. I mean, something needs to be done eventually, because the one we have looks like something that Michael Brady on the Brady Bunch developed for, back in the 70s. It does need something done, but there again, talking about the inspection, from what I understand, I could be wrong. From what I understand, it was one of Mr. Hendricks' friends that came in and walked through. So there's nothing in writing saying that there's issues with this city hall. So number 1, not knowing the contract, and number 2, not having anything in writing saying, yes, we do need a city hall. I think it's irresponsible for you guys to approve this contract tonight. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I feel like if you were sitting in here as a citizen, and there was other city council folks up here, you guys would feel the same way. You would want to know for a fact that we need it. And then you would definitely want to know that the city council members have read over the entire contract and knows what's in it. So that's all I have to say. I appreciate y'all's time.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle?
Thank you, Madam President, to the council and mayor, and all that's here today. Billy Ray Simpson, 755 West Alabama Street, the great city of Florence, Alabama. I'm gonna call your attention and speak briefly on the consent agenda. Item, let's see. Item E. Resolution to approve memorandum of understanding between the city of Florence and Knox Radio for the use of Parks and Resurrection recreation facilities to put on the 2025 Remembering the Veterans event, May the 25th. As a veteran myself, I'm just disappointed that this event is going to be moved from May 25th, I think, up to August. Weather related, I understand. If you believe it's going to be a tornado or anything like that, it should be moved. But why move it so far after so many people have heard about this event? Probably made plans to be there. And we're moving it all the way a whole month. I know Ms. Simmons can probably put some light on that too. And there's another one. Okay, item K. Speak briefly here. This is a wonderful thing. There will be a lot of smiles that go on the west side of town, especially in our impoverished, marginalized neighborhoods for years. This would be put a lot of smiles on people, not just getting a piece of paper, but getting something that's going to really determine their future and things that's planning on happening there. Installation and staff training of the iClick interactive STEM technology system. It's about time we do something great for our black children. Do something for our black neighborhoods. And I have to commend you all for the work that you have done and the people that have constructing the Handy Center there. I have to commend you for bringing this into fruition. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in the middle? To my right.
Hello, my name is David Carson. I live in Florence, Alabama. I'm going to talk about the general agenda item B. This is regarding the City Hall. First of all, everyone should know this, from what I've learned in the work session, this is a $2 million agenda item. My math's correct, 5% of the proposed $40 million project is $2 million. So this should have been put on the agenda, $2 million, you know, but it's not on there, you know, because that might raise some eyebrows, but you know, luckily there's enough of us that are already kind of looking into this and stuff. So you're voting on $2 million right now. Just know that, and just hold up. There's a lot of people are not are against the City Hall thing, or at least there's a lot of people that have some questions that need to be answered. We don't need to throw away $2 million today. We don't. There's still some unanswered questions. I was looking back. It looks like everyone on this council voted for the construction of a new City Hall and the destruction of the old parking deck and the construction of a new parking deck, all in one agenda item back in July the 6th, 2021. This is before I started showing up here and recording meetings, for the recording work sessions and regular meetings. At this time, work sessions were not even being live streamed at the time. So, and you can't even, and whatever video was posted on Facebook isn't probably not available anymore because they recycle old, they delete old videos and stuff. So there's no video reference that we can go and look, see if there's any kind of debate or any kind of discussion, which I doubt there was because, you know, everyone just said vote yes because a certain council president wanted it. But, yeah, you just like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I was just wondering, when all y'all were running back in 2020, did you run on building a new City Hall, on destroying a parking deck and building another multi-million-dollar parking deck? Is that what y'all ran on to put us that far in debt? Did any of y'all run on that? No? Okay, well, that's, if the following year, that's what you set in motion, something that we're gonna have to, it's gonna take probably a generation to pay off, and you just like, you put it on one agenda item. I tried to click on it, I don't see any other paperwork that went with that, so, I mean, that's raising some more question marks, I'm gonna do some more research on that. So, it seems like you've already made up your mind, but now you're talking about like, maybe it happened, we're not saying we're gonna construct it, we're just paying people millions of dollars to draw up the drawings to construct something that we said we're not gonna construct yet, because last meeting you amended the items to not include the verbiage of "and construction." So, I mean, we're near our election, just hold off. Hold off, what's your rush? Like, hold off for a couple of months, maybe we get some new people that are not willing, that don't want us to go that many millions of dollars of debt for a building that, quite frankly, when I looked at it, just need to be cleaned every now and then. You know, I mean, only comments I've heard so far from people, it's just like, it just looks bad. I'm just like, yeah, it wouldn't look so bad if you actually, some people actually would clean. You know, I mean, that's how you get rid of dirt from the front does look pretty bad. It's kind of dirty and mildewy. You can clean it. It's like you can use like water and like soap. You know, and whenever the ceiling leaks, you can have like maintenance people to like maybe take a look at it and fix it. But you guys just want to scrap it and just build a whole new city building, because it's not you know, they're just like, well, let the taxpayer pay for it. You know, so
remaining.
Hold up. You're about to throw away $2 million today. You're about to throw away $2 million today with one agenda item. We haven't had an official report on what's wrong with our old city hall. I did a video walkthrough. I mean, like, I've worked in a lot worse places than that. So this is just another vanity project, along with a whole list of expensive vanity projects been implemented in the past 5 years. We're about to have an election. None of y'all ran on doing any of this stuff back in 2020. You know, I don't think people were aware of what they were getting into when they re-elected you or elected you with this, because we're about to go in debt big time. And we have a lot of expenses coming up, like reverse osmosis water filtration thing that's going to cost like $120 million. You know, you're paying I think it's $160,000. Basically, a house got ruined from flood damage from our aging sewer system. We have things to take care of. We don't need a fancy, pretty little building for you to stay in.
Your time was up.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else to my right? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Ricky Pickett. David was kind enough to provide this standard form of agreement between the owner and the contract. I'm assuming the
Oh,
owner.
yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Pickett, you need to state your name and your address.
Oh, Ricky Pickett, 1832 Ridge Avenue, Florence, Alabama.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, standard form of agreement between owner and contract being Florence and the architectural firm. And I'm hearing a lot about that this is just for the drawing up the plans. But then when I read Article 6 on the cost of the work, for the purposes of this agreement, Section 6.1, the cost of the work shall be the total cost to the owner to construct all elements. On in there it says it shall include reasonable value of labor, materials, and equipment. So that sounds like more than just an architectural study to me. And then I guess there's some ambiguity about how much is the firm being paid. In section 11.5, Article 11 compensation to the architect, it says schematic design phase 20%, design development phase 20%, construction document phase 35%. So I would ask the council to clarify how much of a fee this architectural firm is actually getting, because according to 11.5, it's higher than, and maybe I'm just asking for clarification, is what is the fee that they're getting? And I would, probably got about 2 minutes left, maybe a minute. I would also request, why don't we put it before a vote of the citizens? Referendum item at the general election in August. And then, in that meantime, if we have a architectural firm, civil engineering group, provide a evaluation of the building. There's structural issues, there's flooding. If it's gonna cost more to fix the piping than what it would be to just tear it down and rebuild it back. But let's get those answers. And then, when you add property taxes or sales tax to the citizens, you give them a chance to vote. Well, we're giving them a bond issue to pay for it. And I think they have a right to vote on it. I think the citizens have a right to vote on it. Give my time back. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to my right? Okay, if not, Mr. Lighting.
All matters listed within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Florence City Council for reading and study, are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion of the council with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffin, second by Ms. Eubanks, all in favor?
Let me see the hands again. 6-0, motion carries. Item A under the regular agenda is a resolution to approve an alcohol beverage license by Rancho Mexican Grill Incorporated, doing business as Rancho Mexican Grill, located at 322 North Court Street, Florence, Alabama, for the operation of a full menu restaurant with on-premises liquor, beer, and wine, sponsored by Bob Lighty.
Do I hear a motion for immediate consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Hendricks, all in favor of the motion?
6-0.
Do you hear a motion for the adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Griffin, second by Mr. Hendricks, any discussion? All in favor of the motion?
6-0, motion carries. Item B is a resolution to approve an agreement between the City of Florence and Lambert Ezel Durham Architecture LLC to provide design services for the new City Hall / municipal building, sponsored by Bill Musgrove.
Do I hear a motion for immediate consideration?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Edwards, second by Mr. Oliver, all in favor of the motion?
I voted, I did not vote.
5 votes for.
No, I voted for immediate consideration.
I did not.
You did not,
Right.
okay. You got it?
Well, I was waiting for you to call
Oh,
for any of
I'm
those.
sorry. Any abstentions or, no?
Okay, 5 votes for.
Wait a minute, you got
You
another
got
one?
it, okay.
Abstention, no. Voting against.
We're not there yet. Oh, you voted for immediate consideration?
I jumped the gun, I was against the proposal. So I'll wait till that gets here.
Okay.
I just want to vote no.
That's, we're not to that vote yet. It'll be the next one.
All right. We need it back. The vote for immediate consideration. How many are in favor? 5 votes for. How many opposed? 1. 5 to 1. With the vote, no vote, it fails.
Right.
It's done for the night. Okay, item that we added earlier is for the city and for UNA to apply for a TAP grant for construction funds to replace existing sidewalks along Pine Street from East Irvine to West Hawthorne.
Do you hear a motion for immediate consideration?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Eubanks, second by Mr. Hendricks, all in favor of the motion?
6-0.
Do you hear a motion for the adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hendricks, second by Mr. Edwards. Any discussion?
Would that be both sides of the road? Replacement of the sidewalks, both sides of the road?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's no funding to the financial obligation to the city.
And that's $1 million grant, at 80/20?
That's the maximum amount it can be, Councilman Griffin.
But it's 80/20?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Not all in favor of the motion? Any opposed?
5 votes for, 1 opposed, motion carries. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Next we have, well, we don't have any general business. We had some board appointments. Historical Board, Tim Davis was appointed to the Historical. Scott Lovelace was eligible to be reappointed and he wanted to be. The Beautification Board, Ms. Tees, did not want to be reappointed due to health conditions. And Dennis Mayfield was appointed, and we do have some opening on the zoning board. So that's what we have right now. At this time, we will have business from the floor with a 5-minute time limit. Again, come up, state your name, and you'll have 5 minutes to speak on anything. Now, sir, this one you may do so.
I get your excitement and your need to want to vote no. My name is Eric Grigsby. I live at 1251 County Road 273. It's out in the county. I spoke at the county commission last week, and Chairman Pettis told me I could come here to speak. I was unaware that I could come here. I was told I had to live in the city, but I'm here today to address an epidemic that is flooding not only Florence, but it's flooding Lauderdale County and all of the surrounding counties along with the whole state of Alabama. I've spent the 22 years of my adult life battling drug addiction. It stole literally everything from me. And I found myself living under the Sheffield side, underneath the rock, under the bluff, so eat up with drugs, and I literally had bugs under my skin, just so terrible. And thankfully in 2021, I surrendered my life to Jesus Christ, and He put my life back together better than I could ever imagine. I went from having no home, no job, no family, no life at all, to having everything, and having my wife, a beautiful family, 5 beautiful kids, and 4 and 1 on the way. Thank you, Jesus. And He put my life back together better than I could ever imagine. When my youngest son was born, not too long after he was born, I found myself once again giving into the addiction. But this time it was no need to find a drug dealer. What used to be sold illegally from a drug dealer is now being sold at a 9 out of 10 of the convenience stores here in the city and the surrounding areas. What used to be illegal, you can now go in and buy while I hold my kid's hand and buy him candy. There are numerous highly addictive drugs in these stores, and I stand against them all. However, this evening there's only one that I would like to address to you, and that is called Boji Bliss. These shots, according to research, have kratom in them, but other studies have shown that they have chemicals in them that are not even identified yet. This poison is exploited to our kids every day. They have been, it's proven that it has been shut down the kidneys and the liver, and thankfully not all of them have died, but they in some cases have caused fatalities. This highly addictive poison is supposedly illegal in Alabama, but yet they're still selling it without fear of the law or remorse for the havoc it's wrecking on people's lives. If a person gets stopped by an officer with these in their possession, they get charged with possession of an illegal drug. This is an injustice. I think to think that any of our children can go in a store and buy this chemical poison, it breaks my heart and it troubles my mind. I realize Lauderdale County and the state of Alabama is not they're not oblivious to this epidemic. And I realize you're trying your best to combat it, but I'm here to tell you it's not enough. I've spent the last 2 months, going on 3 months, and I'm still struggling with it, spending $100 to $200 a day on this crap. I'm not here to share with you my personal struggles. I am addressing them, and I'm taking the proper steps and the spiritual help to get this under my feet. These stores that sell this poison are the Chevrons, the Marathons, the Valero, Paradise Food Marts, Wabahos, and that's only to name a few. The only stores that are safe for me and my family to walk into are the Shell stations and the Kangaroos. Even the Mapcos have started selling the THC and the THC vapes. And I'm aware of the ban that has been placed coming, that Kay Ivey had just passed, and that's great. That's so good. I'm a voice with a choice. So are you going to be a voice with a choice? We live in this great state. Alabama is one of the few states that stand against this stuff. We are one of the few that stand with the Bible still. We need to keep that. We have to. I choose not to be silent about this epidemic for another second. What are you going to choose? I want my voice to be so publicly heard, if perhaps I try to give in to this devilish poison, my face will be so known they will kick me out of their store.
You have 1 minute remaining.
That's good. I spent the last 4 days, last week I went to detox because this detox on this stuff is so hard. When you're detoxing, I've done every street drug. I've shot it, I've smoked it, I've snorted it, I've ate it, and I want to tell you, the withdrawals from this is worse than any street drug ever could be. We have to do something. And I want to tell you, what I don't understand is it's illegal in Lauderdale County, but it's still being sold in the city. And no one can give me an answer of why. They say it don't have kratom in it. They got papers saying it's okay. It's okay to sell it because it didn't have kratom in it. I took a drug test today. Well, I don't know where it's at. I took a drug test today. I failed for kratom. So tell me why I'm failing for kratom if it doesn't have kratom in it. We have to do something. This is an epidemic. It's tearing my family apart, and it's going to tear the city apart if you don't do something.
Your time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to my right? In the middle?
Rivers and Ransky again. First of all, I would like to thank Councilman Griffin and Councilwoman Eubanks. I appreciate y'all for putting this off until the next council meeting. And I would like to make a suggestion for the next council meeting, which will be the first one in June. So during the work session, when the City Hall issue was brought up, it was presented today by City Attorney Bill Musgrove. And I know that, this was the second meeting in a row the City Hall was discussed, and at the previous one, during the work session, a representative from Lambert Durham came up here and did a brief description of the contract. To the people at Lambert SL Durham, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, I would like one of y'all to apply to speak at the next work session, because I think that would greatly help the public's understanding as well as the council's understanding for what's in the contract. To understand that City Attorney Bill Musgrove can absolutely present an agenda item, but I would like to request that there be a representative from Lambert SL Durham up here at the next council meeting during the work session with City Attorney Musgrove, and be able to answer the questions asked by me, Mr. Pickett, and Mr. Carson. And I think that would also greatly help the council in understanding everything that is in the contract before they would vote on it. And so with that, I yield my time. And if you are listening to me, I do hope that you'll apply to speak at the work session. It's relatively easy, and the steps to do that are listed on the City of Florence website. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle?
Hello. I wanted to publicly introduce myself. My name is Lisa Dixon. I am running for City Council District 3, and I'm going to say that is going to be a hard act for me to follow. Sorry, not yours, Rivers. That was great, but the one before.
Ms. Dixon.
Yes.
You need to give your name and.
Lakeside Highlands. Yes, I'm sorry. Lisa Dixon, Lakeside Highlands. There's a little joke in my family where I have 6 children, and I like to joke with them and tell them that they each need to have 6 children. That would give me 36 grandchildren. And none of them have agreed to that yet, and that's okay. I don't expect them to. But that is why I'm here. That is why I'm running for city council. I want to ensure that we have a beautiful, safe Florence for our future generations, and I'm willing to go to the work, do the work necessary to make that happen. There's a lot of work to be done, as this gentleman has just explained to us. There are many things that can be addressed. Obviously, we're not going to go into those, but I'm really excited about this opportunity. I do want to thank the council, because I realize now, after making this decision, that it takes a lot of that thought and effort to do it. And so I appreciate for you stepping forward and being a part of the city government at this point. That's all I have. Yes.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle?
Billy Ray Simpson, 75 West Alabama Street, Florence. The greatest street in Florence is Alabama Street. You know, I was amazed by that testimony that young man gave a while ago. I didn't know where I was going, but what passion, what regrets that sometimes we live until we find out that there's a purpose in life. And everybody needs to find that purpose. We were created by God to worship and serve Him. And some of us just got on the wrong track, started doing the wrong things. But as a Vietnam veteran and an ex-alcoholic, I call it ex, not a former, but ex-alcoholic over 30 years ago. And also a drug addict over 30 years ago. There is a place where you can walk away from being under the bondage of regret and unforgiveness. And that's at the feet of Jesus. It's simple. Not over Jesus, but at His feet. And so I've been delivered from drugs and alcohol and a sinful life over 30 years ago. Now I hope that I can help somebody else now. That's why I have been involved in our criminal justice system, going to work release and detention center for over 20 years, helping those that need help. Simple. You got to die to the will of your own flesh. And you got to believe in a resurrected Christ. And you got to invite Him in your heart. And be sincere. Because you can't fight the enemy by yourself. You need help. You need help every time you wake up. You need the power of the Holy Spirit. And to everyone that's listening to me right now, of anybody going through any problems, you don't really have a problem. All you need is faith in God. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle?
Eric Foster, 2708 Morgan Street. I normally don't agree with a lot of what Mr. Simpson says, but amen, brother. I agree with 100% of what he just said. And something I needed to hear, and a lot of us need to hear, but that's not why I got up here. I do want to thank you guys for what you do. I know y'all get beat up on all the time. You know, I told someone that if I had ran and I was in y'all's position, one of two things, I'm an emotional guy, very emotional. I would either sit up here and cry like a baby, or either that gentleman in the corner would come escort me out because I jumped somebody. So I appreciate y'all's patience and what y'all do. I mean that sincerely. But, you know, I wanted to say something. I love Florence, Alabama. I've been here, I'm 56 years old. I've lived in Florence for over 50 years of my life. Seen a lot of changes. And there's good in Florence right now, and there is still some bad, like the gentleman spoke about. But I appreciate everything you guys do, and I do want to share, I've got a lot of free time now, so I do a lot of walking at the River Heritage Trail. Spend a lot of time down in McFarland on the east side, just sitting there looking at the water and relaxing. And that's two things that have been done in the city of Florence that probably cost a lot of money. The River Heritage Trail, and then all that, the lighthouse and all that in McFarland. But not everything that you spend money on has to have a return of investment. And those are two that add value to the city, which is very important, that does not make the city money. But they add value to my life. It gives me something to do, very peaceful, very beautiful down there. I don't know if y'all been to the River Heritage Trail lately, but they've cut a lot of the trees down, so you got a lot better view of the river now, so really beautiful. Really encourage everyone in the city. I posted on What's Happening shows about it, and people are like, where is that? I think that's something that maybe we could advertise a little bit more somehow to let people in the shows know about that, because it's just such a beautiful, peaceful place. And I do hope eventually that we'll come up with the money to extend it to McFarland, because I think that would be awesome for the citizens and for people visiting the shows. But again, I'm not a violent person. I saw you look when I said I'd jump somebody. I wouldn't. But I appreciate you guys, and appreciate all you do, and I thank you for your vote, or your non-vote, whatever it is, and for you standing up. Like I said, I'm not against the new city hall. I just think there's some things that need to be done before y'all make the choice. Even though I know we're not voting on the city hall, we're voting on the plans, and from what I understand, they won't get paid anything till it's complete. But let's make sure that's what we need. And if it is, I'll be the first person to stand up here and say, spend $48 million. I mean, that's probably, I think, $1,000 per citizen, a little over $1,000 per citizen. If we need it, if it adds value to the city and it's something we truly need, then I'll support it if you show me the evidence that we need it. So with that said, I will shut up and wish y'all a good weekend.
Thank you. Anyone else in the middle? To my right, I saw you. I'm going to come back to the right.
Hello, I'm David Carson. I live in Florence. And again, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to top that first gentleman over there. I was there at the county commission too. I've been clean for 10 years. I get it. I haven't always been this serene and normal and sane. I used to be a lot worse. It's taken 10 years for me to get this sane. Just giving you an idea. And I feel them. I mean, it's something you just don't know what's up and what's not down. And I think the people running this city, we could look after maybe some of our compulsive members. People are going to do what they're going to do, but we can attack snake oil salesmen every now and then, right? I think it's part of our duties. Anyway, I would like to thank Michelle Eubanks. No, I would sincerely like to thank Michelle Eubanks for not having immediate consideration for this item. Obviously, and I agree with. I'm assuming it's going to come back up next meeting. We're not over the hill yet, and I'll continue battling through it and stuff. We'll see how this goes down, but. How it goes down, that matters, and maybe we could have avoided a lot of this if this went down properly with a referendum and public, information back when it went down back in 2021. Well, at least the idea was to thrown in front of everybody, or the council at least, not everybody. I would like to share something that happened to me this week. Before I do, I would like to say I do more than just get up here and talk into a mic and have a cathartic release. Complaining and stuff. I do a lot more. I do a lot of lab work. This is the only time I really even get to, I'm usually sitting through stuff I can't talk through. So I do a lot more. I mean, people watching don't know me. I do a lot more than this. I'm not tooting my own horn, but it takes a lot of effort for me to get information from some of y'all guys in this local government. This week, past couple weeks, I wanted to get two things. I wanted to get information, all the documentation on the the $40-something million bond that was issued, and I also wanted information about like a $160,000 lawsuit that was agreed upon to do a settlement here about a month ago or so. No one on this council would tell me what that settlement was, so I wanted, that's the only way I can get information. None of y'all or the attorney would give it to me, and I wasn't asking for legal advice, I was just asking for public information. There's a difference. Anyway, I went to the city clerk's office, and they told me they had my documents. On my document release, I told them to send it to me digitally over to my email. And when they called me, they said, we have your documents. It's going to be like over $50 because it's like 600 pages. I was like, I said, send it to me digitally. She was like, well, I just sent it to the department heads, and this is how they sent it to me. And I said, did they see that I wanted it sent digitally to the email? They're like, yeah, this is how they sent it to me. I was just like, is there any way you can get the file and send it to me? If it's too large, I can come up there with a USB device or whatever. They're like, no, you gotta, if you want it, you gotta pay the money. So let me just break it down to you. And then what I did is I took all that documentation, front and back, it was over 1,000 pages. I scanned it all, digitized it, put it in a PDF, uploaded it to a public Google Drive, and I shared it with the internet for free. And I did that all under an hour, okay? And I had to figure out some stuff, or I'd done it quicker. It seemed like the city could have done that. They've sent me files before. I think they're just being passive aggressive and thought I wouldn't cough up the money to get it, which I did. And people of the community actually paid me back for that. So don't think that's going to be a barrier to stop me. But they could have sent me. So basically, this is a good metaphor about like how backwards the city business is. I wanted a PDF of this information. What they did is they took their PDF, they printed it out, wasted a bunch of paper, about 500 pages, put it in a box, and then made me buy it. Then I took that 500-page stack of paper, rescanned it to turn it back into a PDF to share it back to the public. Which has been like, there's some link somewhere for people just to check that out. That's how backwards. Now basically it's like alchemy, they're turning a digital file to a bunch of paper, and I'm taking a bunch of paper and turning it back to a digital file to share with everybody. That wasn't necessary. Someone was either really dumb or they're being passive aggressive. So anyway, just thought I'd call it out. Don't do that stuff because I'll continue. I'll just call it out, and don't think it's going to deter me. It just keeps me going. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else to my right? Yes, sir.
I'm Eric Rainey, 2410 Chickasaw Drive. I really don't want to be here. I've got a problem with the city. I called the utility department Monday the 12th, informed them that the transformer was hanging by a thread on the utility pole in my backyard. Kudos to them, they showed up, came out, posted a notice on the news. Power outage planned. So Wednesday the 15th, they come out, take my fence up, put a truck in my backyard, change the pole out, put a new transformer on. I get home, push my garage door open, nothing happens. I go inside to find that not only did it get my garage door opener, it got my oven, my kitchen light, my kitchen lights, and several other items. Not a big deal. So I go to the city. I filed. I spoke with Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones came out to my house. I showed him the things that were wrong. I even showed him security footage of me backing out of my garage the day they were there and not able to pull back into my garage when I came home that Wednesday evening. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out if you've got a bunch of stuff fried in your house, you've had a power spike. The city of Florence was there. He's telling me, well, it won't be this week. It won't be next week. It may be up to 6 weeks. That answer to me is rude, dismissive, and unacceptable. I got a little flustered. I walked to the mayor's office, unannounced, told him about this. So I called back Monday. I don't know if anything happened. I did call Michelle Eubanks, and I applaud you for stepping in. I've got about $5,500 worth of damage. I've got homeowners insurance. Most of us in here have got a 1% deductible. In my case, my deductible would be $3,400. I pay a little extra, so it's $1,000. But most people have got a 1% deductible. Now, I stand here in my defense, but I stand here for people that are less fortunate than me. I'm talking about how many single mothers have had damage done by the city and will go in and get this same response, not this week, not next week, maybe 6 weeks. How is somebody supposed to feed their family if they don't have an oven? Is it in your budget to eat out every night? It's not in mine. I won't starve. And if I have to, I'll turn this in on my homeowner's insurance. But the insurance company is going to turn around and sue the city. This doesn't make sense. I should not be here. I should not have had to call Miss Eubanks.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. My point is this. We need to be more consumer friendly. I'm a city resident. I pay taxes here. I pay Florence utilities. Without me, you guys don't have a job. Treat me like a human being. That's all I ask. And I'm asking you as a council to make this process a little easier for somebody that doesn't have the guts to stand up. That's all I've got.
Thank you. To my left.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Harvey. I am one of the candidates that's running for District 1.
To give your address.
I am,
Okay.
Councilman. I stay at 127 Fed Street, Florence, Alabama. Listen, I understand what you're talking about when it comes to property. The reason why I'm standing up here is I want to know why the ordinance for property cleanup has not been enforced. I've lived on the west side for 43 years of my life, okay? And not everybody over there is an animal. There's a lot of people over there that has nice jobs and lives over there. So why is it that when we call the city to come pick up stuff in abandoned yards and stuff like that, it doesn't get taken care of? I have video evidence of where a tree a month ago fell on my shed and shattered it from another person's property because people are neglecting their property and they're not taking care of it. So the city came out and they cut the tree because there was a pole that landed on someone's house. I want to let you know what your city workers did. They came out and cut, and then they ordered DoorDash in front of my house. I got it on camera from a doorbell, and they ate Outback, and they left logs as long as this in the abandoned property that I take care of for the last 6 years. I keep it cut. I make sure snakes don't come up in my yard. But you should see Fed Street. It's a disgrace. The West Side never looked like that. And I want to know why the city is not doing what they're supposed to do. Come over there and cut those trees down. Come back and get that tree up out of that property right now. Because I take care of that. Even though I don't pay taxes on it, I still take care of my neighborhood because I want it to look good. And that's one reason why I'm running. Because we need to have a change in District 1. We're tired of looking like a third world country over there. And I want y'all to start caring about that. And I want you to get those people over there and pick that tree up out of that abandoned yard. We got so many abandoned houses where meth heads and drunks are just sitting up there. And it's time out for that. We need to quit that and quit looking at that side as a murder town, because we have 1% zero murder rate here in this city. I want this city council to stop treating District 1 like we're some slumlords, because there are good people that stay over there. And I want y'all to start putting that ordinance in play. Find these people. And it's just not for West Florence, it's for all the districts. You ought to see the east side. It looks terrible. The east side and the west side never look like that. Hold these people accountable for their property. If you don't want to take care of it, sell it, get rid of it, do something. I'm tired of my side of town looking like this. And we need to do something about it. We need to, I don't know what y'all need to do, but y'all need to get an agenda or something going for this property cleaned up, and y'all need to put your foot on these people who have neglected their property. Because once upon a time, Florence had some pretty yards around here. And y'all used to give out that nice little black beautification sign. But I want the west side of Florence to come back so you could put businesses over there and other stuff. But the neglect is just, it's terrible. But please, can you come and look at Fed Street, Hill Street, College Terrace, Burrow Street? They're abandoned homes. And you got these homeless people living in them. The house that lives in front of me, I have contacted this woman over I don't know how many times. You know what I found out there? Syringes. Like I said, I've lived on the west side 43 years. I ain't never seen syringes on the west side. And it's got to end. Yes, because Florence does have a bad drug problem. And that's all I have to say. But please, do something about those trees that they left. And I got pictures of it if y'all want to see how they just left trash in that abandoned yard. And did not pick it up. They left logs and everything else. And we kept that abandoned lot looking nice. But it's time out for this, because you got trees that's hanging over people's house. I got one tree left that's hanging on my house, and State Farm going to pay me as soon as it falls down. But I don't want that, because I have a disabled mother that worked for the city for 25 years at the utility apartment. And I had a father that was a police officer here. So please do something. I am not no just slum in the streets. My family represented something here. And there's a lot of people on the west side of Florence that do. So thank you, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else to my left? If not, at this time, we will have council member reports, starting with Mr. Elwood.
I want to thank Mr. Townsend. We got a little earlier recognition earlier in the mayor's comments. Mr. Townsend's been a government teacher at Florence High School for a number of years, and I want to congratulate him on the work that he's done and on his retirement. He'll be truly missed in the school system, and he's done a great job. And I want to offer my condolences to Morris Craycraft family. Mr. Craycraft has been involved in city government for a number of years, serving on different boards, regional and zoning committee. Passed away a couple of Saturdays ago. He will be missed, and just want to give my condolences to his wife, Jordan. And also the Memorial Day event is coming Monday at 11 o'clock at Veterans Park. If it's raining, it'll be at the Coliseum. I invite everybody to come. Memorial Day is an important holiday, and I hope we remember those that have served our country. It's a time of remembrance, and it's not just a first day of summer, unofficial first day. It is an event that is very important to remember those that have protected us, served our country.
Thank you, Councilman Edwards. Mr. Oliver.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. And Mr. Rainey, first I've heard about your situation. I have sympathy for you on that. I've been down that road before, and so hopefully that situation can get resolved. And
The city can do better.
I'll ask more questions about that as the days go on. City Hall, I know we have usually the same 2 or 3 people then protesting City Hall, and I don't mean to be dismissive of their thoughts about this. I've only got so much time to, like you guys do, to speak on this, but I did back a little over a year ago ask a gentleman who is a well-respected, owns a construction company here in town, and I mentioned about remodeling the current city hall, and he explained to me the issue is, he said, you know, you could spend $1 million on one floor in the old city hall, and then because of the way it was built back in the 40s, you could get to the next floor and find out you couldn't go any further. So you had just wasted $1 million on trying to put a lipstick on a pig. And so when the time came to make a decision, and this happened right when I came in office, borrowing the money, getting a bond to build a new city hall, because you want your city to have, it's not all about having you know, a little pretty place for your employees to work, but you want the face of your city to look nice. So when people come in and they want to do business in your city, they want to locate a business in your city and spend their money, they're coming into a nice place. And so the money that we borrowed, a lot of you may not know this, had not been as low to borrow, as cheap to borrow in 100 years. It was 100-year all-time low on interest rates to borrow money. So what we did do as a council as time went on is we figured out that we couldn't build the big building that we wanted to. So we got to work and trim things down to fit the money that we had on hand. So that's where we are today. You can't build a building without an architect. You just can't. You can't go out and hire Ricky's home building service to come in and build a municipal building, because there's certain guidelines and codes you have to go by. So you have to have an architect to do that. The standard rate for an architect to build a municipal building, and I guess this guy back here can back that up, is somewhere between 6% and 15%. They're doing this for us at 5.8% is what the cost is to do this. I don't care what city you are in America, you're gonna pay somewhere between that and 15% for an architect. You gotta have one. It's kind of like Mr. Griffin said, you just can't go over there and start hammering nails. There's a lot to doing in municipal building. And I hope I live to be 100, and I'll go to my grave believing that we need a new city hall in this city. We definitely need it. So, and I respect your opinion about that. And when I hear someone say, wait till after the election, it makes my skin crawl. And I hear a referendum. There was one. It was 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, when they had an election to put me in this seat to make those kind of decisions. So my decision is that we need a new city hall based on my research and just the facts that I had given to me as to why we needed one, and I agreed with it. So I was elected to serve this past time 5 years. I'm not going to only work 4.5 years because there's an election coming up. I'm not going to stop making decisions. I'm going to work all the way up to November, and if I get reelected again, I'm going to continue working 4 more years. I'm not going to stop working a year out because we've got an election coming up.
You have 1 minute remaining.
So that's my thoughts on City Hall. So I hope we can hammer this out and get moving in the right direction and get a new City Hall built. Great day coming up tomorrow. You heard us mention it. We're going to another building that we spent a lot of architect money on is the W.C. Handy Rec Center. I heard nobody arguing about architect fees on the W.C. Handy Rec Center, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I was up there today, and we're going to dedicate it tomorrow. So I hope to see everybody there for that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Edwards. Councilman Hughes.
Bob, be patient with me. So I too would like to thank everyone coming out tonight and for those watching. There have been a lot of questions on City Hall tonight. Had a lot of those same questions before being appointed and after being appointed. And once again, I want to commend this entire council for being patient with me while I went through that. Also want to commend them that when they recognized that there was this 100-year low, that the city borrowed money because it was recognized that something needed to happen with City Hall. And I think it was a smart decision to get the money at that time. And that money came with a restriction, and this is one of the things that's misunderstood, is that it can only be used for City Hall. You know, we can't use it for sewer, we can't use it for other things. It has to be used for City Hall, and you don't give money away when you get it that cheaply. So the last thing we want to do is give it back and not solve a problem. So to answer some of my questions, first question was, you know, can City Hall be remodeled? And the answer, you know, is yes. Any building can be remodeled. The real question is, should it be remodeled? And that's a no, and that's the process I went through to find this out. So I had someone come up, it wasn't someone that I knew. I had someone come up from Birmingham and look at that building. And there were several things that I discovered through that process. One was that it has to be remodeled 70% or more, so it has to be brought up completely with code. That means that all the seismic requirements, the fire suppression, on and on and on. It also has a sinking column. You go in the tennis short court door, ride the elevator to the basement, and just look up at the ceiling. That's a major structural problem. It also has a weatherproofing problem. It wasn't waterproofed when it was built. It was what they called back then weatherproofing, and that system is failing. So that building is taking on water, which means mold and lots of other issues. However, the biggest problem, it also has ADA problems, but the biggest problem in every contractor I talk to, the first question they ask me is, what's the space between the ceiling and the floor? And I couldn't understand why they kept asking me that. And in that building, I personally measured it. You can too, just go in a staircase, and where it's wide open in the stairs, measured, it's exactly 10 feet. You need a minimum of 11 and preferably 12. Because when you start putting fire suppression in, that would be required, cable trays for data, HVAC, now all of a sudden, we're starting to bring the ceiling down to below 8 feet. And the minimum requirement is 7 feet 10. And you just can't do anything when you're required to remodel more than 70% with a 10-foot spacing. So that gets in the way of everything else. And so, when I learned all these things, to me, it did not make sense to remodel. We still could go that route. We could still have large rooms with low ceilings. Imagine this room in here with an 8-foot ceiling, what that would feel like as a workspace if you had to work in it every day. And so it was time to move on. Yes, we can have them come back and give us a 4-week written assessment for probably $100,000 to tell us everything I told you tonight. But they did that for me and didn't charge me. He did it as a favor. I'd never met this person, but you know, he did it in hopes that if we do go to that second level, that we might use them as a firm. But there's no point, and he told me that because this is what he's going to tell me. And so at that point, we would end up with an undesirable building for what could be the same amount of money or more. So it's time to build a new building. And I'm happy to meet and talk with anyone about that one-on-one to go in much deeper detail. All you have to do is contact me. I'm not trying to persuade you, I just want you to have the facts. And I think that it's important that you do, because right now, apparently a lot of folks are still looking for that. You have 1 minute.
Please, oh, that's perfect. So please reach out to me if you would like to discuss that in more detail, especially if you're a candidate running for city council. So let's go forward. I'd like to thank the electricity department for everything they did this week.
Once again, they did a wonderful job. Please remember, they don't take our power off, but they certainly help us get it back on when we have these storms. They did an amazing job with that. Arts Alive, record year. If you attended Arts Alive this weekend, thank you. I saw several folks there. It was, we could not have had better weather. It was perfect. Music in the park every Wednesday. Don't forget that. And I will close with wishing everyone a safe Memorial Day weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hendricks. Mr. Griffin.
Thank you, ma'am. You can reach me at 335-6575. If you need to talk to me or have a question, 335-6575. It is my privilege to serve the citizens of this city. I do wish that I did not show what I'm thinking on my face, because as things happen in this meeting, I'm not the thermometer, but I am a barometer, and or thermostats or whatever. I do enjoy serving these people, the citizens of Florence. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Eubanks.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Thanks so much, Mr. Rainey, for attending today and sharing your thoughts. I'm sorry about the circumstances that we have gotten to reconnect as friends, but I am going to continue to work with Mr. Jones on this, and I will keep you updated as I have, and you have been so good to visit with me with updates that you have as well. So thank you, and I really appreciate you coming tonight.
Thank you for your help.
Absolutely. And congratulations, Mr. Gorbachev. I'm so proud to appoint you officially to the River Bend Mental Health Board. Your history and your background in that field and the book, quite frankly, you've written the book on it. So I'm delighted that you are willing to serve on behalf of the city of Florence and the residents of District 4 in that role. Thank you deeply. It's not everybody who's willing to do that, so thank you. Also, again, congratulations on Arts Alive. Really great year. I was able to attend on Saturday, and it was really lovely. So great job to the Park and Rec staff for getting Wilson Park ready to go, as well as to all volunteers who do that voluntarily, which means they don't get paid, to make that happen. So I'm very grateful for it. Mr. Townsend taught both of my children, and they are, I mean, it doesn't matter that their mother serves on the city council. They don't care about that. But Mr. Townsend brought civic governance to life for them, and I'm very grateful for it. And he helped them see and understand the value of their role as residents and voters. And you know, they both registered to vote when they turned 18, so I was really proud of them. Congratulations to the 2 individuals who were named sergeants for the Florence Police Department. Chief Holt is right. This is the future of our department and the future of ongoing safety in our city. As a council, late last week, we were able to enjoy the memorial ceremony, and that's something that we don't often get to attend, but we were able to celebrate those who were awarded through their department, as well as to provide our condolences to the loved ones and families of those who were lost in the line of duty. That is something we will never, ever forget. We also had a lot of storms this week. Mr. Hendricks referenced those, and it was much worse for our friends and neighbors in Madison and Huntsville. But it was something that we were fortunate that wasn't worse than it was. Always grateful for the utility department as well as the street department. Also last week, we as a council were given the opportunity to attend the Alabama League of Municipalities Convention. And it's a really great opportunity for us to network and have learning opportunities to visit with others. Mr. Griffin mentioned that, but I am excited to continue to work toward my Emeritus Certified Municipal Official status. And then finally, I wanted to invite all of the council members to a community event that I'm going to be having on Thursday, June the 26th. It's an opportunity for all of the community members, invite your residents to come out and see this. All the department heads will be invited. They can chat with the department heads, roundtable discussions, sit and visit. It's a great opportunity for people to learn and do on behalf of their city and to really get in touch with the residents and the department heads. So please feel free to be there. I would love to have you. It will be from 5:30 to 7. So it'll be at East Campus for the university, easy access and parking, and all one level. So that helps people come and go if they don't have the ability to get around very easily. And that will be that. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Eubanks. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone for coming out this evening and sharing all your thoughts and your concerns. I want to say in regards to the regular agenda on item B, in regards to the Lambert Ezel Durham architect and the design, it got stopped with the delayed, rather, in the immediate consideration. However, had it gone forward, my vote was going to be a no, as it was the first time. So that's just where I am with that. So that vote was going to be a no, and I just felt the need to explain that as to what it was going to be. So it'll come back up again in 2 weeks. And in regards to the regular agenda item C, the raised tap grant, I went forward with that because my vote reflects to allow to apply for the grant before any money, if awarded, before any money moves forward, it would have to come back again before the full council to vote. So my vote reflects to apply, the ability to apply for the grant. Also, Mr. Grigsby, his speech was definitely tugging at the heart, heartfelt. I've lost family members to drugs overdose, and I'm sure everybody, whether you've lost family members or not, you've been touched or impacted by people in your community or people that you just know, friends or family. So my heart goes out to him. I wish drugs would just totally go away for everyone. Also, Ms. Hardy, thank you for coming. I do share your same sentiments. I've been fighting this battle about the blighted community ever since I've been in office. All of the streets you named, plus some, I've already shared with those multiple times through the building department, asking and pleading and begging for help. The process to get things done, it is too lengthy. I've even asked, is there any type of way that we can shorten that? As Councilwoman Eubanks just stated, we just was at that conference. Unfortunately, this happens all over town, all over every state and every of the cities. I know that doesn't matter to anybody because it happens right here in our community. I live in West Florence as well, and I agree. I remember as a young girl coming up, it didn't look like that. District 1 and District 3 are the most impoverished, and they both look horrible. I don't have just a street or two. I have an entire blighted community that I've been pleading with the mayor. He has the streets, the building department. I've asked for them to be fined. I even said not too long ago, they have to get letter after letter. They've been getting letters ever since I've been in office, and it was like that when I went in office, so I inherited that problem. And I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I just want it fixed. I even asked, they keep getting letters, can they not read? What is the problem? And a lot of the people are out of state, but a lot of the problem, the people that these houses are, and some of those very ones that are complaining, they are right here in the city of Florence. They just have elected to move out of District 1 into a different part of town and leave their property back to look as it looked. I've asked for them to be fined. I even took it a step further. You gotta put them in jail, do what you gotta do. You gotta make an example out of somebody to get this train rolling. So I understand. I've even called you on several times with the tree that you referring to. I saw the video. I even attempted to call you, but I did send the building department over there to look at that. They did pick up a pile that they could. Your situation, if you want to talk to me after the meeting, I'm willing to speak with you about the tree that's on it, because I saw it. I came through and I saw it. But anyway, it takes the whole community, and you're right. Everybody's right. It needs to have the property owners need to be held accountable, and something needs to happen citywide. District 1, that is where I'm elected to look after, and I have certainly been trying. I've poured my heart into it, and that's all that I can do as far as myself. It's out of my hands. I've tried, and I will continue to try, and I will continue to send the streets in. Looks like nothing's happened. We have taken down structures, and then when we take them down, it's cleaned off until the grass grow back up, and then you're right back to square one. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. On a good note, the ribbon cutting and the tours will happen at W.C. Handy. That has been a long process. I have advocated for that for many years. So I want to invite everybody to come out to the ribbon cutting. Starts at 10 a.m. from 10 to 11, and then the tour, you can take that from 1 to 4:30. And that's 1105 Beale Street, W.C. Handy Recreation Center. So I want everybody to come out, and I want to say thank all of the citizens who advocated with me, who stood right there beside me in that struggle, in that challenge. I want to thank the council for finally supporting the idea. Thank you, Mayor. Thank the Parks and Recs, and I just appreciate everybody. Long process, long challenge, but we're here. So I want to move forward and continue to bring progress and enlightenment. And again, I want District 1 to be an inclusive part of the city of Florence. If there's nothing else, Mayor, do you have anything? Okay. If not, we will stand to be adjourned with a closing prayer by Councilman Griffin. Thank you all for coming.
Let us pray. Father, thank you for your love. Thank you for your forgiveness. Thank you for the peace that you bring in my heart when it seems like it just would never come. Lord, give me understanding and wisdom. And most important, Father, teach me, as you've said, to love my neighbor as myself. And these things we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.